further ado, let's kind of start at the beginning, the very beginning, a very good place to start, which is outside your studio. What your studio space looks like as people are driving up to it is very important. Just panning a little bit from left to right, showing the outside of Tom's studio. This is what people will see as they're driving up to his home. Like we said, he's working out of his home studio, and that's what you're seeing here is the kind of front area of his home. Notice that he had a sign out there. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Once this plays through, I'm going to play it again.
First question, why Morelli Studio and not Thomas Morelli Photography? Because that sign was made and I wasn't even thinking. All that money I spent. So I just thought I'd mention that. The name of the business is Thomas Morelli Photography, not Morelli Studio, but it fit better on the sign and could read better. So it's one of the, when we talk to our clients about first doing a consultation and coming by, I will always, with a light tone say, as you come down, I give them directions and I say, you're going to see my studio sign normally on the right, and I will be in the driveway waving you down with my hands, and they laugh, and I always let them know that's the driveway to park in. So it's a marker for them to see the zoning. If you're ever going to do this, check your zoning because it has to be put in the right spot. It can't be larger than. And the lawn's a little. We had some grub treatment, so the lawn's a little dug up. But we actually had all new shrubs put in last spring. The other ones that were there kind of going, so it's not filled in as much as it is, but it works. And I use this area. Actually, some of the spots that you're seeing here occasionally are used in portraits because if you look as a photographer, there's nooks and crannies.
Yeah, and it looks really nice, Tom. And that is a very important point. You want to be sure you are aware of everything a prospect is going to see on her way to your business, because that is their first impression.
Okay, so Tom, what are we seeing here?
Yeah, so this is where they just drove from. This is the other side, and we greet them right about here. So as they're coming in the driveway, we're able to, motion. This is a good place to park. Sometimes people try to be courteous will actually stop and park right near the road. So, it's kind of funny. I'm like, no, you can come right up here. And we try. We hadn't got to it at this point because the weather's been rather dry. We usually have some hanging plants and more plants than that, but we try to decorate it so that it's neat and kept well. One of the quotes we just got for about $9,000 was retarring the driveway, so that's our next project. So on the right, you saw the home with the lower garden level entrance, and then the steps between, which just go out to the back area. We'll see later that in case we're doing portraits out there, and of course that right ahead is the entrance to the camera room area, or actually the lobby to the camera room area. But the first place that people come will be the room on the right, or in the home lower level there in the garden level.
Notice what you're not seeing here is it doesn't look overly like a business. Other than the sign out front, you wouldn't know that this is a business at all. Looks like a home right from the very beginning, and that is on purpose. There are a lot of reasons why working out of your home can actually be a benefit to your sales, a benefit to your profitability, not just because of lower overhead, but also because the more it looks and feels like a home, and you're going to hear this a lot once we get inside and start looking at the design from the inside, the better off you are. So we want them to feel at home when they come here. We want them to feel like they're coming to visit family or visit friends, feel very warm, okay?
The building on the left was a two-car garage, which we took the garage doors off and built what you'll see on the interior out of basically an empty garage. The top level is just storage space right now. There's nothing up there. It's just open, but it's great for storing all kinds of different things. So we use that. So the lower level on the left is just the camera room, and basically took the garage, retuned it, turned it into that, and a lot of people said back then, gee, it's Maine, don't you want a garage? And I said, I'd rather have a studio. So I'll buy another garage. But that has worked out very well in that regard.
Is your entire studio strictly in that building on screen left, or is any of it in the building on the right?
As far as doing creating photographs, you're talking?
I'm talking your entire studio space, any place that a client would see.
Okay, no, the client will actually see both spaces. The one on the right, which we'll see in a few minutes here, is where I take them first, and that's our sort of our greeting consult meeting area where they get their first impression. We get to chat, we get to do the consultation. It also is used for other areas that we'll talk about. So the building on the left is strictly creating photography and a changing room. but all the
Okay,
business.
so camera room and changing room primarily in the left
Right.
building.
Correct.
Okay. So don't look at this and go, oh, there's no way I could do that. I don't have that kind of room. Again, just glean from this the concepts and the ideas, the overall look, the design, the feel, and then adapt that to whatever space you happen to have. And then you can add to it and move up as we go along.
We try as much as we can to go on location to emotionally meaningful areas that our clients desire. However, with children's portraits, quite often, high school seniors, they're just like, I've got nothing. And so we'll do some here. And the nice thing about this is there are overhangs on every side. So any time of the day, by the way, we're having that building re-sided. It will look, that's my garage, or will be. The overhang on each side allows me to do photography in open shade pretty much any time of the day and on any type of weather situation, obviously, unless it's totally raining. So, and there's a tree line there, and beyond that tree line, there's another open area that's part of our land that's beautiful for photographs too. Kind of has a tunnel effect, like they're walking through sort of a dreamland. I do a lot of family portraits out in that area.
All right, here's our next video. We're seeing your porch area. So do you do any photography on that porch? I'm going to pause it here for a second. On that porch, Tom?
Yes, yeah, we just had some posts replaced, and there's some painting that's going to be going on, as you can see, where it needs to be scraped and where the new post is. But we put hanging plants there, and with a telephoto lens, then those columns, when I first bought the place, I said, boy, that looks like a pretty neat place. Because it's an overhang, the lighting is soft and beautiful, even on sunny days. The flowers you can put anywhere you want, and I have a lot of them to really soften up the background, add edging, foreground and background, looking back kind of what we were. And you can see on the left a little tiny bench that's sitting there, and there's another little fence. Those are all used a lot. That's a little apple tree. There's a lot of spots there. There's a rope ladder there that my daughter had me put up years ago that she doesn't use anymore, but some little children run up, and that's hanging under the tree. And, of course, we have to be mindful of the age so no one gets hurt. But if it's a single child, 5, 6, 7 years old, sometimes they do some cute poses on that. They'll just grab it and naturally gravitate. There's a little white bench you can see that's kind of ceramic. It's really pretty, that my wife bought somewhere, and little babies sit on that. Sometimes a 1, 2-year-old sits on that. And a lot of these bushes, which are not flowering right now, are lilacs, apple trees, and other types of bushes. So depending on the time of year, they will blossom and have different colors, and it's just really kind of a neat place to work because it's always changing. In the fall, of course, everything you're looking at turns gloriously yellow, orange, and red colors. So it's really a great sort of a wonderland to work in. Even in the winter, I've done portraits out here in the winter that are really beautiful too.